Let me ask you this. Have you ever walked out of an interview thinking, I had a great experience to share, but I don't think I said it right? That's one of the most common things I hear from project managers. People who reach out to me who are like, Anna, I am getting these interviews, but I'm not moving on to the next round, or I'm just bombing my interviews. And when we start practicing, I notice one thing: they do not use the I statements. That's one of the things that will help you move on to the next round. Because sometimes you know your work inside out, but when the pressure hits, your words come out jumbled, or they come out rehearsed, or worse, sometimes they come out like you're someone else's story. You're like, I know all this stuff inside out. What's happening? The fix isn't memorizing better answers. It's learning how to share your experiences clearly and naturally using the star and I statements so your confidence actually comes through. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Project Manager Connect Show. I am your host, Anna Anderson. I'm the founder of the Women in Project Management Network and also the Project Training Network, where I help you get into project management roles and also pass your PMP certification on your fast try. And today we're going to be talking all about the STAR method and I statements. I stand by the STAR methodology. I know there are tons of methodologies out there, and if you're using one that has worked for you, that's amazing. But I stand by the STAR methodology. But there's also one thing that you need to incorporate into your STAR methodology is the I statements in your interviews. You need to incorporate it in a way that sounds conversational and not robotic. That's the main thing. So behavioral questions are where most interviews are either won or lost. You'll usually hear them start with something like, tell me about a time when you had blank. For example, tell me a time when you had to manage conflict, or give me an example of when you led a challenging project. You hear in this statement they are saying you, not them, you. So the STAR method keeps your story organized and also keeps it focused. So let's break it down. STAR stands for situation, where you're setting up the scene. The task, which talks about what your role and responsibility was. Your action, what you actually did, not them. You can bring in other people, but what you did, and the result, what changed because of that. Now, here is the most important thing and the key. It is a framework. It's not a script. Don't try to sound perfect. Just use it to keep your story clear and confident and also easy to follow. Let's take, for example, this question. For example, they'll ask you a question like, tell me about a time you managed conflicting priorities. As a project managers, we know you're not going to be having one thing at a time. You're going to have conflicting priorities, or even members of your team are probably going to have conflicting priorities. A star, or rather a natural star response might sound something like, maybe the situation. I was leading two projects that both needed the same QA resource in the same week. My job was to keep both on track without burning out the team. I met both sponsors to review the timelines and trade-offs, then built a shared capacity tracker so everyone could see resource availability. I also staggered the deadlines to spread the workload. The result, now all of us, we both met, or rather, we met both deliverables, and the team actually thanked me for creating clarity around priorities or something like that. Now, you can see it's structured, but it still sounds like a conversation because you're walking them through the story and they're having a visual of what you did. And your story is showing your leadership, not reciting those lines. Now, let's look at another one you'll probably get. So maybe tell me about a time you had to influence the difficult stakeholders. You're probably going to get this question. And it's probably going to happen in real life because there are some stakeholders out there that are a bit difficult. So here's how you can sound. Situation. I was managing a system migration and one department lead was pushing back on every timeline I shared. Ugh. Task. I needed to get buy-in without escalating it up the chain. Action. I scheduled a one-on-one, listened to her concerns, and realized her team was understaffed during testing. I worked with our QA lead to shift maybe some of those non-critical tasks off the timeline or off the team, and also shared a new milestone view that highlighted the impact of her work. Result, after that, she became one of our strongest advocates, and we were actually able to deliver on time. The key here is I am using I statements. It's not that I didn't work with the QA person. It's not that I did not have a one-on-one with her and looked at timelines. I'm using I statement throughout, not to take all the credit, but to show my contribution. If you only say we, interviews are going to be like, how can we dissect what this person specifically did? When you practice your answers, talk them out loud. It's important. Like you're chatting with a colleague we just met for coffee and you're telling me everything about your work. You're not pitching something to me. You're just telling me we are having a conversation. And that's how you need to keep your interview. Keep your tone steady, your pace natural, and don't worry if you pause and think. In fact, it's okay to pause and think. You're human because interviews are not looking for performance. They're looking for self awareness, they're looking for leadership, and also they're looking for that clear communication. So you want your answers to sound structured and also you want them to sound human. All right. Here is my key takeaway for you. Use star statements to give your story direction. Use I statements to show ownership, to show impact, and also to show value. And then deliver it in your own voice, like the capable, confident project manager you already are. Because sometimes, again, you already know everything that you're working on, but sometimes everything blanks out. So having that structure helps you stay ready. Anyway, so if this episode helped you, share it with another project manager who's getting ready for their interviews. I am practicing with two women this week, both of them moving on to the next round, and I'm hoping that they will be able to convert this round into their next project management opportunity because we are going to be emphasizing on utilizing the I statements so that they can show their value, so that they can show their impact and ownership on the questions and the projects that they are sharing during this interview. In the meantime, I want you to lead with clarity. I want you to speak with confidence because this is your story to tell, not mine, not theirs. This is your story to tell. So I want you to always stay ready so that you don't have to get ready the night before. I want you to remember this. Interviews are not about perfection. They're about that connection. So I want you to go out there and lead with clarity. I want you to speak with confidence. I want you to go ahead and make sure that your interviews are conversational, but it only happens when you prep. Stay ready so that you don't have to get ready the night before or something like that. And also, tell your story like you only can. All right?